Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to WHTC's Talk of the Town for this Tuesday, June 23rd. I'm Gary Stevens. We'll be up in line following the CBS News with Deborah Rodriguez. Hopefully the timing has been taken care of. We had some issues at the 8 o'clock World News Roundup, but we'll have Deborah join us at the top of the hour. Patty Vandenberg will be joining us near the bottom of the hour with what's new around Holland. But we are joined by the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen from DeBruyn Seed in Zeeland, the Yard and Garden segment brought to you by DeBruyn Seed, Washington and Elm in downtown Zeeland. Jan is taking care of things right now. Looks like Ken's taking care of some things in the back, and we're missing one important little feline.
He's down in the store.
Okay.
Getting attention.
Okay, of course. So that's good. Keeps him out of the way so we don't have to have any interruptions, such as little tails walking across our Google Meet cameras here or anything like that. Although, sometimes I might have to, be quiet because unfortunately one of the problems with Google Meet is the fact that we don't have, split screens. So
yeah,
you can't, if I'm starting to jabber a little bit, you can't see Mr. Butternut, saying, let me in. Anyway.
Yeah, he was a little insistent that day. Yes.
If you got a question for Jan, she'll be happy to take it at 395-1450, 395-1450. I mentioned to my wife Holly, I said maybe we need to get something for getting some hummingbirds to come by our little deck.
Oh,
but
yeah.
not, obviously we don't have much room to have it extended out too far. We got maybe about a 2 foot or 3 foot a span before we go straight down. So we really can't do anything widespread, but we can be able to, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Should we get a nectar thing for nectar, or should we get something that gets the little fruit flies out, or what? What's the best thing to do in that situation?
I would start with a nectar feeder. That's something they're tried and true. They all come to a nectar feeder. They know what it is. You can get any size of nectar feeder from very small that fits on a window to a larger one. So, you can fit your space. They'll come. If you feed them, they will definitely come.
Should be a hanging one more than anything else in that regard.
They seem to like it better for some reason. I mean, mine will sit there and sway with the wind, and they're just going right with it. So.
Okay, I was kind of wondering whether or not we needed something more, on a stick or more of a solid platform so that the wind doesn't maybe get the nectar out of there, and then the birds, they go to the nectar to find a feeder, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, I don't fill mine up to the top just for that reason, because the wind will take it, and all of a sudden you've got nectar on the deck or wherever it is. So
yeah, and then you get.
Yes, but they seem to like it. So you hang it up. To get mine to come at first, I took a red bandana and tied it around the top. So that was kind of flapping in the breeze, kind of catch their eye. And then they would go, oh, yeah. Oh, a flower must be over here. And then they discovered the feeder.
Yeah, but not a balloon or anything like that might scare the birds away.
I don't want it to scare the birds. I just did a little red bandana. That's all I took. Yes.
Now, question is, are birds colorblind?
They see certain colors. That's why the males are certain colors in plumage. The bright colors, they can see those. They can't see, like your blue shirt probably would be just melt right into the background.
Okay. Sometimes what I say, I should be melting into the background anyway. But anyway, hey, just got to be honest here. If you got a question for Jan, no, don't call DeBruyn Seed. She's busy right now with us. Call us, 395-1450, 395-1450. Okay, let's play Jan on Food Network. And not for making any recipes.
That's a good idea, yeah.
But recipe for making nectar. We can certainly ask you to do that for us.
That I can handle. It is like 1 cup of sugar to 4 cups of hot water. That's all it is. 1 cup of sugar, 4 cups of hot water. Mix them together. Make sure the sugar is well dissolved. That's all you've got to do. No food coloring, no nothing else. That's it.
Now the question is for how often do you have to make this concoction?
I change my feeders every week. If they haven't gotten down to the bottom, I just dump it and then just change it. The 4 cups makes more than enough for my feeder, so I just put it in the refrigerator and then pull it out for the next week and fill it in. Not a problem.
Now these little hummingbirds, they don't need to have purchase to be able to enjoy the nectar, do they?
No, they don't need purchase. It's fun to have a perch because then they actually stop and you get to see them a little bit better, maybe take a better picture, but they don't need a perch. They will gladly just fly around a hummingbird feeder without a perch, no problem.
If you got a question for the master gardener, Jan Meeuwsen, she'll answer it at 395-1450, 395-1450. For those who might be new listeners or maybe infrequent ones, you got to say, hey, wait a minute. You're asking a master gardener about birds? Well, excuse me, Jan is a birder, not a fowler. She's not going after.
No.
Not using the birds to go after things, no falcons or hawks or anything like that. But she is a birder. And from time to time, especially in the winter, she helps catalog birds. Doesn't go, put a little stick on them and saying, monitoring with a little stick on their legs. But she does count birds. And
you bet.
And then willing to talk about many different varieties of them. So that's why we talk birds. And sometimes this program goes to the birds at times. But anyway, 395-1450, 395-1450. Let me ask another bird question. It's almost like a bird psychology type question. Are cardinals skittish?
They're not going to come down to a feeder right away. They're going to watch it for a while before they come in, and they only come in usually in the early morning hours and then in the early evening hours. Otherwise, they're going to be up in the trees singing away.
Okay, the reason why I'm saying are they skittish is we've had a little cardinal coming by our deck, and we're on the second floor apartment, and try to, this was like around 10:30 or so, 11 o'clock in the morning. So this is, not, this is not early morning or late evening situation. And I said, Holly, take a look at that nice little red bird there, the cardinal. She says, yeah, I've seen that cardinal or others like it. And I try to take a picture of it and they just fly away. I don't even, before I can even get the camera, they're there for a second. Then all of a sudden, poof, they're gone. So that's why I'm kind of wondering what they're skittish.
You want to get a good picture, you got to be prepared and just sit and wait. Unfortunately, it's not like the poppy fields in Fenville where you can just go and just take pictures anytime. Mm-hmm. You got to be prepared.
Yeah. Other colorful birds in that regard, say our friends the Orioles or the Blue Jays, are they the same way too?
Blue Jays can be. Orioles are kind of like they're like the doofuses of they just do silly things. They don't seem to mind that you're there. They're just kind of funny birds to watch. They'll go upside down or they'll do some acrobatics, and they're fun birds to watch. Yeah.
My question is, how do you attract an Oriole if you don't see them normally in your area? Can you attract them?
You can attract them. Oranges are like the number one thing. But grape jelly they just love grape jelly. So, the first thing to do is get your ears trained and listen. And if you hear them in the area, and they've got a very distinctive voice, and I can't do it, but they have a very distinctive voice, and you'll hear them calling to each other all the time. Put the grape jelly out I even take an orange, put it out. Once they've hollowed it out, then I just fill it with grape jelly and use it kind of as a feeder. They love that too. But the good thing, cedar waxwings also love that. So you might get some other pretty bird that you might not know that you're going to get.
Hmm. And location. Use the old real estate line, location. Where you live can be a factor as well. Say, and where I'm at, I'm maybe about a quarter of a mile or so away from the Grand River. So
Yes.
it does it not so much with Orioles, but different types of birds. Where you live can determine which type of birds you see.
Where you live is going to make a big difference, especially like how many big trees do you have around you, or just pine trees that they can hide in if they see a hawk or something. That makes a big difference. They like to have their habitat right around them. So if you got a backyard with a couple of trees in it or some pine trees, that is just perfect to put out a bird feeder in there, and they can run to that and then run into shelter if they need to.
395-1450, 395-1450. If you have a question for the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen, let's get to a call, shall we? Good
Sure.
morning. You're with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yes, I have a question about my peonies. They took a beating in the wind, and there's lots of branches laying kind of on the lawn, and it's really difficult. I was wondering if I could just trim them off.
Yes, you can. The peonies this year have not been stellar, and that's because of the cold May. But yeah, go ahead and trim those right now. That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate
You're
the call.
welcome.
395-1450, 395-1450. If you have a question for the Master Gardener, she'll be happy to take it at 395-1450. Are we getting any late arrivals now that we just got past the summer solstice about birds coming into our area? Sort of like they're just coming to join the party now after some of these other migratory birds have already come through?
Yeah, the cedar waxwings I spoke of earlier, they're just starting to come in the area. They love our blueberry bushes, and they love to eat the little blueberries off there. The farmers don't particularly care for them. That's why we hear all of the cannons going off all the time. But the cedar waxwings are they look like a cardinal, just different colors. Very, very distinctive bird, fun bird to get. Usually don't come up to the feeders, but they love grape jelly, and they'll come. If you had some mealworms, they'll come up in a heartbeat. So they're a fun bird to watch also.
395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. All this talk about Orioles and whatnot. I found with the Orioles, if you run out of oranges, which tends to happen depending on how many you have, they'll also go after maple syrup. So I put pure maple syrup inside the orange, and they will go crazy for that. So
Really?
just another option for people.
Oh, I'll be out there with pancakes too with them. But what fun!
We do maple syrup, and like I just threw it out there for an experiment, and they just went crazy for that stuff. So just another option for them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. If you have a question for the Master Gardener, she'll be happy to take it at 395-1450. We talked a little bit about birds, and we're sort of focusing our initial segment on the little birds and the bigger birds as they go along. What about those hawks and the falcons and the bigger birds of prey, even owls? How do you sort of enjoy watching them, but knowing you don't want to be in their path because they're not bad birds. They're not birds of prey for nothing.
Yes, that's right. And I've watched many a hawk swoop down and grab. I've seen them grab rabbits. I've seen them grab birds. it's not a pleasant sight to watch that. But you have to keep in mind it is all part of nature. That's what they do. And the hawks also go after rodents and snakes. So let's keep that in mind. We don't mind that they also, every once in a while take a bird. That's why I like to have a pine tree nearby so the birds can swoop in there to get into right next to the tree so the hawk can't get in at them. So it's nice to have some sort of protection for the little birds once they sense that hawk is out there. But make sure they also will grab small dogs and cats. So make sure you're out there with your small dog and cat if there's a hawk around.
Yeah, because they might think of little kitty as
Lunch, yeah.
lunch, and or even the little ducks. They'll even attack other birds too.
Oh yeah, they will.
395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan
Yes,
Meeuwsen.
good morning. I have something curious. I have 2 robins, and they have built 6 nests under the deck floor. What's up with that?
6 of them? My
No,
goodness
it's not a problem. I think it's so funny.
I just think that's hysterically funny, but they can't seem to get that nest thing right, can they? It
But they are,
and a lot of
I
times,
see them use only one and ignore the other 4.
yeah. Well, a lot of times they do build more than one nest, but 6 seems to be excessive.
They're all right next to each other under the deck.
And under the deck, how silly is that? My goodness.
Yeah.
But you'll get some baby robins. That's always fun.
But I can't see them. They are too close to the planks, the floor planks.
Oh, you can stick a little camera under there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call. Thank you.
So I just thought it was the funniest thing.
It is.
It is kind of silly. Yes.
Jen, I got to put my news director hat on again. A story that is on our website from our friends at Reuters, and it involves Roundup. And we've talked about Roundup in the past, and get your thoughts about this story as well. A U.S. federal appeals court yesterday blocked the state of California that requiring that Bayer label its glyphosate-based weed killer Roundup with a cancer warning, handing the company a victory in its ongoing litigation over the product, I should say. In the ruling, District Court Judge William Shub called California's cancer warning misleading and said the state's label is not backed up by regulatory findings. We've talked about Roundup before. Some say it does have a carcinogen in it. Others say if you take it too much, just like anything, it'll be bad for you. Your thoughts about this particular warning and about Roundup in general?
Yeah, they haven't really found, the powers that be have not found anything carcinogenic in there. There was one report out of Europe from some wacko thing, and everyone just grabbed that. But no, there really hasn't been anything in the U.S. in any lab that found anything carcinogenic in Roundup. It is based on it inhibits a protein only found in plants, not in humans, not in mammals. That's why it kills plants, but actually you can drink it and it will not hurt you. I've seen people drink Roundup. It won't hurt you. It will hurt the plants. And once it's in the ground, it breaks down into its components. So after 3 to 7 days in the ground, you don't see glyphosate anymore. You see the components of it.
395, yes.
Yeah.
395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yes, good morning. I'm a hummingbird bush, which also might be good for your deck. It used to bloom beautifully, and about 3 years ago I pruned it, and now the blooms are very, very minor. And I didn't know if it needs fertilizing or what could I do to increase that.
What kind of bush is it again?
It's known as a hummingbird butterfly bush.
Oh, a butterfly bush?
Lavender,
okay.
Lavender cupcake.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely fertilize it right now. Yes. if you have not been doing so, mine does beautifully. So, but I fertilize mine at least probably 3 times during the summer.
Oh, do you? What kind of fertilizer?
I just use flower tone. It's an organic thing from Espoma. It seems to, give enough stuff oomph to it to get it going and produce some nice blooms. You can also add something that's got a lot of phosphorus, the middle number, like triple super phosphorus or whatever, in hopes that it will build up more flowers also.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well, thank you for your help.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
the call. Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450, 395-1450 if you have a question for the Master Gardener. Regular feature that we normally do have when we have a conversation with Jan, either on Morning News or on Talk of the Town. Time now for our weekly awards category. Some of the problems, some of the good things that happened over the past week at DeBruyn Seed. Jan catalogs them and calls it the blank of the week. Let's go first to our lawn disease of the week. And we've talked about red thread before.
It's still a popular one out there. You notice it first because your lawn starts getting a little brown. You really got to get down on your hands and knees and take a look at it. And you'll see that the grass has a little reddish tinge to it. And you actually might find something that looks like a red thread in your lawn. And it just needs some more nitrogen. It's just telling you it really needs to be fertilized. No fungicides are needed. Just give it a good turf builder type fertilizer. Should grow right out of it, and it shouldn't be a problem.
The tree problem of the week, Jan, is also one we've talked about before, black spots on maple leaves.
I think this is never going to end. It's a disease called anthracnose. It happened back when the tree was budding, so there's nothing you can do about it. It's got it now. The tree is just going to shed all the leaves that have the black spots on them. It's just going to get rid of them and put out a new set of leaves. So don't worry about the tree. It's not going to kill a healthy, large tree. Don't worry about it. Just pick up those leaves because there could be spores of that disease on those leaves. So pick up as many of those leaves as you can and get rid of them.
The garden problem of the week also involves leaves, the tomato leaf curl.
Yeah, this is a huge one this week. Everyone's bringing in tomato leaves that are curled. That can be either overwatering or underwatering. And I would say 95% of the time this week it has been underwatering, and it's just begging you for water. So if you're not sure if it's overwatering or underwatering, stick your finger in the soil. If it's wet, you're overwatering it, and cool it a little bit. If it's dry, which it probably is, it needs more water. We've had nothing but sunshine for the past 14 days, and that just evaporates all the water that we put down. So sometimes we can't put down enough. So that's why the leaves are curling.
One more issue involving things that grow, our weed of the week. And it's not, when you mention bird's foot, no, we're not talking about the, 3 little things that are walking around.
No.
No, it's a different type of bird's foot. It's bird's foot trefoil.
Yes, and it's a common perennial broadleaf plant. Actually, deer hunters love to plant this in fields because the deer love this, but it likes just really poor, infertile soil. So that is that beautiful yellow weed that you're seeing that's spilling over the curb onto the streets. That's birdfoot trefoil. That seems to be out in abundance. It has a beautiful yellow flower on it. If you really take a look at it, it's got it looks like a bird's foot. It's got 3 parts to it, 2 front and 1 back. So it looks like a bird's foot, hence the name. And it's a really cool thing. It's usually out at the same time white clover is out in the lawn. And if you'll take a look, there's a lot of white clover out in the lawn. And black medic, but that's a little tiny yellow flower. We're not really seeing that. Let's go in there. But the bird's foot trefoil is pretty pretty in your face when you're going down the road.
And of course, it's a seasonal thing more than anything else, right?
Yeah, in a couple, in 3 weeks, it will be gone again. So, and then we'll be dealing with some other weeds. So, but enjoy it now. It's a pretty yellow color.
But it's still a weed, and
It's
you need
still
to
a
take
weed.
care
Yes,
of
you can
weeds.
get rid of it. A broadleaf weed killer will kill it. But I'm kind of enjoying seeing it, as I go down the road and come to work here. I see it a lot.
Now, too bad these don't grow like, say, in the fall when it's the deer rut, and can help our hunting friends
Yeah.
make sure the more they get, the less we hit, as I always like to
Yes.
say.
Well, they like to plant it because it's high in protein for them. So then they develop the great big antlers. So it
Oh.
is a good thing to plant for them. Yes.
All right, let's talk about our insect of the week. Not the blue-tailed fly, but the vinegar fly, a little tiny vinegar fly.
It's a tiny fly, and you really don't notice it too much. But what it does is spotted wing Drosophila. Drosophila just means fly. It loves to lay its eggs on your raspberry or blueberry buds, and sometimes strawberries. If you have some ever-bearing strawberries, it will lay it on that also. And the problem being, when you bite into the strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, you'll see the little maggots just waving at you. It is disgusting, and it does several generations per year, because the maggots drop to the ground and then they turn into the fly, and it does it again and again and again. Hurts the late season raspberries, the ever-bearing strawberries, and the blueberries. So if you start seeing them, it's probably too late. But right now you can get BioAdvance has got a product called fruit, citrus, and vegetable insect control, and it will actually kill any of the eggs that the insect lays on there. So it might be something you want to get out there and spray. You might want to get out there. Sometimes people cover their bushes or their strawberries with some cheesecloth or row covering, so the fly can't get at them too. So it might be a good year for the flies because it's been such a mild winter.
Yeah, don't want to have to worry about being the lord of flies on that one.
Yes.
395-1450 if you have a question for the master gardener, Jan Meeuwsen. Let's talk about slugs, shall we?
Slugs, they're out there, they're eating. You don't see them eat because they eat at night, in the dark, when it's cooler, and they can just go. They love your hostas. That's their number one favorite all-time hit parade plant. And if you see holes starting to develop in your hostas, just get out the slug bait. It's going to be slugs. That's just a no-brainer here. You can put out the saucer of beer and have them drown in that when they're slithering around to get to some place nice and cool and dried or wet during the day. But yes, you can put the beer out. You can put slug bait out around your hostas. That'd be one way to keep them hole free for a while. Yeah, they're just kind of not fun to have around. Or you could just go out at night and pick them off too. If you got a tweezers and a flashlight, just go out there and start picking off slugs. You'd be surprised how many are out there.
And finally, our rodent of the week is actually Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, the chipmunks.
Yes, and I know they're the cutest rodent ever. They are so adorable. They do little antics. My neighbors both feed them on both sides of me, and they do nothing but dig a hole and chew on my property. Probably because I'm the one that doesn't feed them. So I'm the one that puts out the gotcha trap. I love that thing. We had an older guy here. He was trying to catch him with a mouse trap. That doesn't work. You need a bigger trap. So he got a gotcha trap. I told him to put a little peanut butter on and some popped popcorn. So he did that night. And then he made a trail of popcorn leading up to his trap. And the trail of popcorn was gone, and he had a chipmunk in his trap. So the peanut butter with popped popcorn worked well.
Well, for just one chipmunk, though. If you got a few in the area,
Yeah, you got to keep doing it. Yes.
you know, because Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, and they have the female chipmunks for the later generation. Yeah.
Yes, but they do make it. They make a mess. They love to chew. So if you've got those around, it's probably best to either let them go to the neighbors or you get rid of them.
And that's our award categories for this week. And next week, we'll delve into some more issues that Jan has taken care of at DeBruyn Seed. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Good morning. Talking about flies, I don't have little flies, but I have large flies, and they seem to come in I don't know, I have a large living room window. Now, the two end windows don't open, but the two middle ones do. So there is an opening there, but I very seldom open them. And I spray there, but they seem to come in somehow, and I find, dead ones on the floor by the windows. And also, I don't know why, I've had that last year too, and I have a bug man come out and spray and all this and that. But here we are again, and I actually take my vacuum and vacuum them up. There's that many of them sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
What in the world do you think I can do more about that? Or where do they come from,
I think they spend the winter inside the walls of your house for some reason, and they have found the perfect spot to spend the winter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have a bug man come every, month and spray, and they do really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just drives me crazy. And then I myself even, take stuff and spray it home defense or raid or whatever I have. And then when I do see them, they're dead on the floor. But occasionally I see them buzzing around, but not. But usually they're
dead
by the window.
Yeah.
And I just think that. Do you think they could come from your basement somehow?
They could come from the basement, certainly. That sounds like they just want to get out because they're by the window and they're going for the light and they want to get out.
Heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
And also, I have birds this fall and this summer. I mean, most of the summer. They fly around so like they're crazy. What is it with birds, right? The last month or so.
Bird brain.
They fly so close to the house and so fast, that you wonder if they're going to bang into the house or whatever. It's just crazy how they are.
Oh, they're trying to show off for the females. That's what they're doing.
Well, I guess maybe that'll do it. The flies and the birds, I don't know.
Yeah.
The birds and the bees I know about, but I don't know about the flies and the birds.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. All right.
Thank you, Jan.
I appreciate the call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Yes, good morning. I was just wondering if she could help me out with our dogwood tree.
Sure.
What can we do for it? It hasn't grown very much. It's still alive, but it just gives the little leaves and then it quits.
Is it in the sunshine or is it in the shade? Where is it planted?
It's on the east side, and there's a little bit of shade and a little bit of sun on it.
Okay, no, that's a perfect location. So you've got the location down. Now, do you fertilize it at all or not?
No, we just kind of didn't even know what to put on it or anything. We just kind of put those little spikes on it.
Okay. I would, and it's kind of a young plant, right?
Well, it's kind of not really because we've had it for at least 3 years, but it hasn't done anything.
Okay, what I want you to put around it now is something called Tome, and that's BIOTOME.
Okay.
And it's made by Espoma. It is a organic product. And what that will help do is really help develop the roots of your plant. And I'm hoping once the roots are really going, that the top will take, will do something. So let's get some Biotome. You can't overdo it. You can get a small bag, and obviously you can put half on now and half on again in the fall. You're not going to overdo it at all. I would do that. I would really try stimulate that little guy and really get it going.
Okay, now where do I get this? Do you guys have it, or?
Oh yeah, we have that. Yep, you bet.
Okay, who's this by? It doesn't, brand kind of doesn't matter.
It is by Espoma, ESPOMA.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you, because my husband keeps telling me we should just take it out and throw it away. I go, no, it's alive,
No, if it's still alive, we're gonna work with it. You bet.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. We'll just take this to the top of the hour as we've been talking about a lot of different things, birds and problems and chipmunks and Roundup. And birds and the flies and stuff, birds and the bees. There was a story, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Sort of a humorous story, not a serious one this time around. It was in our show prep this morning, and let's put it this way: new homeowners in England, a couple in England, got quite surprised. They brought a dream home as is, planned to do some renovations, but never expected that would include removing a 15-foot long beehive with about 160,000 of those bees hidden in the fireplace.
Look at all the honey they could get out of that. My goodness.
Well, if they're honeybees, what if
That's
they're
true,
wasps
yeah.
and hornets? I don't know. Seems the previous owner boarded it up without saying a word. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Bees are being relocated to a nearby farm. Let's get one more call. Good morning. You're on the line with the Master Gardener, Jan Meeuwsen.
Thank you very much. We are out by the lake and have, of course, a lot of sand in front of our place, and we're trying to grow some vinca. And it'll go so far, but there's a hill, and there's nothing that'll grow on there. We plant a bunch every year. And would we be better off maybe trying myrtle instead of the vinca?
I'll tell you, my folks lived out on Lakeshore Drive for years, and they had a hill also that was nothing but blow sand. They put some rocks in it, and they planted myrtle, and it worked well.
What did they put in it?
They put some rocks in there so not all of the soil would wash away all the time.
Oh yeah.
So, and it wasn't like it was huge rocks at all, but just like little 6-inch rocks here and there. And then they planted myrtle. Now it took about 3 years for that myrtle to really fill in, but boy, it just took off.
Well, let's see. My husband's 90. I'm 87.
Oh, well, good for you.
Out here in this cottage, if we're going to still be here. But I didn't realize it took so long. Our vinca is going, but it just goes so far, and then it won't.
And then it stopped, yeah. The myrtle worked really well for my parents out there.
Okay, well, we'll give it a try.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the call. 395-1450. Jan, we're out of time. It goes by so fast, as always.
It does. It goes by way too quick. Yes.
Saturday, it's the Jan Meeuwsen Garden Show from 11 to noon. And then next Tuesday morning during morning news. And also here on Talk of the Town, the Master Gardener from DeBruyn Seed on Washington Island, Zeeland joins us. Jan Meeuwsen. Jan, as always, thank you very much for spending some time with us. Have a good week. We'll talk next Tuesday.
Yep. Sounds good.
And that is Jan Meeuwsen on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. CBS News is next on the hour.